Hello and welcome back, my friends. Today we're looking at these gorgeous IEMs from Padsmith. Padsmith is known for, well, smithing pads, so the jump to IEMs was unexpected, but definitely not unwelcome. Stick around to find out if these IEMs are for you, and if you like the content, please click that subscribe button. I love the spacey art on this packaging. It plunged me straight into that cosmic aesthetic, which I'm a huge fan of. In the box, you'll get these gorgeous deep purple IEMs, which are accented by an eye-catching silver cable. You'll also get a zip-up case and 3 different size sets of tips. Overall, just about everything you need for a great IEM experience. The quality feels solid, with these gorgeous handcrafted purple resin shells. As usual, aesthetically, Padsmith knocked it out of the park. Even this nice silvery cable choice feels like it complements the IEMs extremely well. Though the cable doesn't feel quite as solid as some of the other cables I've used, I believe it will withstand the test of time. You're going straight to a 3.5mm connector. These are definitely the most comfortable IEMs I've had the pleasure of jamming into my ears. I have different sized ear holes and fitment is usually a bit tough for me. Normally I have to use different sized tips for a consistent seal, but these felt great with just the mid-sized tips in. They just agree with the shape and size of my ears. Now for my IEM content, I'm going to talk about these separately in the context of gaming versus music. Since these are gaming focused IEMs, I'm going to start with the gaming section first and then we'll follow up with music. Well, you've got a really good sense of 3D space. Footsteps feel loud and chonky in most titles due to the sound profile. However, this can lead me to feel like I'm not getting as precise of a location. I also feel like the bass characteristics cause the attack to suffer, which can cause the sound to feel a bit more loose. You absolutely will have an easier time hearing the footsteps overall, but this same quality I feel makes it a bit more difficult to determine a precise location. That's not to say that the sense of location is bad, I think it's great. But I can definitely get a better sense of 3D space from more expensive offerings. Sometimes things can get muddy if there is a lot going on. The price to performance ratio is the great thing here. I believe that the gaming experience you will get will be hard to beat without spending quite a bit more money. At $115, the Padsmith IEMs are priced very competitively. Alright, so now about the music. Bass comes through very fat and prominently, though it can feel a bit sluggish. For some styles of music or more bass-heavy mixes, I found the bass to be overpowering and caused me quite a bit of listening fatigue. On the flip side, if you want more bass emphasis on the music you regularly listen to, these do a great job of delivering that heavy low-end experience on pretty much any track. It sounds fantastic, but I listen to music where there is a lot of sauce in the mid-range, and sometimes the bass is already emphasized to the max in these tracks. This makes my tracks start to sound really muddy, and the bass can even feel loose or sloppy. My Zayshinwu heydays deliver this beautiful, balanced experience that provides an insane sense of clarity and texture on basically any track. Granted, Zayshinwu heydays are a bit in a different bracket with both price and design goals. They're my favorite IEM when it comes to a music listening experience, and that will be the main basis of comparison until replaced as my primary music IEMs. The soundstage is fairly wide, but definitely feels a bit more narrow than my Zayshinwu heydays. It's almost like someone grabbed all the band members, shoved them in a smaller room, and moved them a bit closer together. I can definitely still hear pretty clearly where each instrument sits, but I find the instruments themselves to be less precise and more individually wide when compared to my Zayshinwu heyday. I find myself craving mid and high-end detail to be pushed forward a little bit. The bass can be overpowering, but can also give a punch to the kick drums, as well as pronounce the low end of some tracks I feel I want a little bit more low end from. This leads me to getting either a worse or better experience on a track-to-track basis. I'm going to slam the tech specs up on the screen here, and you can check out the link to the IEMs in the description if you want to check this out yourself. Let's get into the pros and cons. We're going to start with overall, and move on to gaming and music specifically. So for the pros column, they're the most comfortable IEM fit I've used. They also have this great stylish cosmic aesthetic, but the con here is that the included cable doesn't feel very robust. In the context of gaming, you'll get loud emphasized footsteps, a clarity of the separation of sounds, and a great price to performance ratio. However, I don't think the location in 3D space is going to feel as precise as some other offerings, and muddiness can occur if there's too much low end overlapping. The price to performance ratio here is absolutely insane for gaming. I'd be impressed to find another offering at a similar price point that offers the same level of quality. Now for music. For pros, the low end can really come alive with that emphasized bass. These work really well on lower output audio devices, and they have really good instrument separation. Now for the cons. Okay, so already bassy tracks can be a bit muddy, loose, or fatiguing. Mid and high-end detail feel a bit pushed back for my preferences. I believe you can find better sound profiles for music at a similar price point here. I think the Padsmith IEMs really shine for gaming. Overall, the Padsmith IEMs deliver a gaming performance that is quite a step above in quality when considering their price tag of $115 US. You'll get super pleasing aesthetics, the most comfortable IEMs I've used, and a top-tier gaming performance. When it comes to music, I feel like these will be a love-hate experience, with certain tracks or types of music really benefiting from the sound profile. It can also just as easily cause a track to be muddier sounding or fatiguing in my experience. I definitely see these as a great option for gaming, but for music you can probably find a better sound profile at a similar price. While I try to describe things as objectively as possible, audio is pretty subjective. You may find your preferences are a bit different than mine, so be sure to do your full research before pulling the trigger. What do you think about the Padsmith IEMs? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. This is just the start of my IEM content, so definitely subscribe if you want to stay with us. I'll see you next time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more.